And we're back live with Recovering Out Loud. Shh, shh, shh.
Fuck, you're busy, eh?
What do you mean?
Like, I've looked at, so I opened my phone and I see your beautiful face. By the way, I love your espresso videos.
Oh, thank you.
They fucking crack me up.
Appreciate that.
Makes
Mornings
me,
with my child.
yeah, makes me have more espresso though. So fuck you for that.
No, it's so good. You can never have enough.
I agree. But so I opened up my phone this morning. I saw your beautiful face, and you were in Montreal last night.
Yeah.
In front of a sold out crowd.
Mm-hmm.
A week before that, you were in Disneyland.
Yeah, Disney World.
Sorry, what's the difference again?
Orlando, LA. That's it.
It's a pretty big difference.
It's a huge difference, yeah.
I'm like pretending it's not.
In terms of the heat, it's the worst.
Yeah. I saw your beautiful face sweating.
Oh my God, dude.
Jesus. Okay, that's better. Sorry, I don't like hearing my voice too loud. I saw your beautiful face, and so you're a busy guy. I asked you to do this. And we had this booked for a while, and I was like, I'm going to be honest. I was like, man, I wouldn't even be mad if he said no. So I appreciate you, man.
Wild,
thanks so
dude.
much for coming on.
Of course, man. Yeah. Anytime.
So
I appreciate the praise. The busier, the better, dude, or else I fucking start eating more than what I do. You get too, then you just like things slow down too much, and then you feel like you got to work even harder to get it going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I feel like for me, so I'm newly getting into this, I hate this word, but like creator space. I will never use the word influencer because that word drives me nuts. And I hope terrible. I'm not influencing anybody in this world. Do not live like me.
You do though. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah. And I always hope that somebody watches something that I put out one day and was like, I never thought about it like that, because that's what social media does for me when I'm like, I'm going to try that in my life today. And specifically with addiction and mental health, I came in here, came into recovery. I mean, like I had to be willing because my life was such a shit show that I was just wrong on so many things. So it's like, okay, I need answers now. Right?
Yeah. And that's the problem where like so many people, just the term influencer, it's like, this is the world we live in, dude. Like everyone's on their phones. Everyone's trying to make someone buy something or make someone do something, in my case, laugh or whatever, and guide them somewhere. Mine's ticket sales, see me live, whatever. So it's kind of just like, I feel like people get just jealous when they do that.
Yeah.
When they're just like, oh, bro, you're an influencer, you're a fucking loser, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's a living for me now. Like, what do you know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to do? Not succeed? Is that the plan?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, for you, it's different, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to because it's part of your thing. But like, fuck, I could never do it. Fuck that shit, bro. I could never do it.
Yeah.
And then you start talking to them, and you're like, yeah, you could totally. You think so, man? You think I could do that? Yo, that'd be fucking sick. Yeah. And you're like, okay, you just don't want to do it. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah. Or you don't like seeing people win, right? That's the other thing I'm really, really realizing. I heard a podcast yesterday where someone was like, Alex Hormozy. Do you know Alex Hormozy?
Of course, yeah. I know him, yeah.
He's great. He was talking about how...
Here you go, Alex Hormozy, let's go.
Yeah.
Let me get my thighs out for Hormozy.
He's like, you need to have people in your life that have bigger dreams for you than you do.
Yeah.
Right. And it's true. Like the people I surround myself with today are like, oh yeah, you could do that. Yeah, do it. Like you could grow the podcast. Why not? Why not you? Why not you? You could be fucking Joe Rogan. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
And you know what, dude? There's so many people being Italian like us. There's so much in our culture that's very limiting in terms of being successful. There is a lot of Italians that are like, well, no, you can't be Joe Rogan. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Or like, you're going to charge that much money for this? Like, that's ridiculous. Like that's way too much. Like, what are you thinking? Yeah. But then you hang out with other people who are in the space and know the game, and they're like, buddy, you should be charging 10 times more than you charge. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then you go back and say that to, like, let's say your dad or your mom or, fuck, God forbid, your nonna. They're like, are you out of your mind, dude? Like, that's insane. Yeah. No one's going to buy that. No, like, they just don't. You can't talk to people who don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just don't get what you're doing.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. And so you're a stand-up comic. How long have you been doing it for?
12, 13,
my entire
14,
life. Yeah.
Legit, since I was like 20.
Yeah.
So 34. So
13 years, 14 years.
Yeah.
Dude, I was saying this to my wife this morning, and I truly mean this, what I'm about to say. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass.
Come on, blow me
Let's go.
smoke.
Bring it.
Bring my smoke.
Yeah.
No.
We went to elementary school together.
Yes,
and you were the kind of guy that everybody would kind of hint, and myself especially, like you still make me laugh today, but you made us all laugh back then. And it was one of those like, man, that guy Mark should be a stand-up comedian one day.
That's wild. I don't remember anybody saying that at all.
We were all thinking it. Yeah,
that's insane. Yeah, I mean, I was always the funnier person in class and going to the office for it. So
was there? Yeah, I know
there was that.
I had a lot of that too, but I don't have.
I remember seeing you in there.
I don't have anything to show for it though.
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you, buddy.
Same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We give props in the office.
Yeah.
Mom brings us lunch. Back to fucking.
Back at it again.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you get into comedy? When did you know this? Was there a moment that you're like, I'm gonna be a fucking comedian?
Yeah, I mean, I went to that Humber program, did that. So that's clown college, basically. Humber comedy writing. Yeah, exactly. They give you a nose and everything. For real, though, they give you a nose and everything. But that was sort of like, okay, let me try and take comedy seriously. And I didn't really know what to do with that. Like, the goal was like, I wanted to be Mike Myers, Jim Carrey, like those guys. And I was like, okay, what did they do? They went to Second City. They went to something and developed this skill. Yeah. So found Humber, audition, got in there. But once I did, because stand-up was never, like, dude, doing speeches in school was like hell. Like,
I hated those.
Oh, fuck. I would, like, be sick every time. They're like, Mark, you're tomorrow. I'm like, I won't be here. I can guarantee you. So that was brutal for me. But when I did stand-up for the first time, that was, like, the big defining, reassuring moment where I was like, okay, I'm going to be doing this forever. I feel like I'm in the right place. I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then just went 100%, and that was...
Nice.
That's been it.
Never looked back. What about it excites you? What about it makes you happy?
It's very much a solo game. So, like, there's no one else to blame but yourself. Do you know what I mean?
It goes both ways. Yeah.
It goes both ways. So it's kind of like if a joke didn't work, or, like, it's just you and your thoughts. So, like, if the joke doesn't work, there's a billion reasons why. Every decision you made while you were before and while on stage affects what you're going to do next and affects the outcome. And there's no, like, you can't really stand on anybody else. You can't be like, oh, well, fucking buddy showed up. They're like a fucking idiot. Like, it's because of you, bro. You can't blame anybody else, and there's, like, it's very much like working out. I'll relate that to you, not me, but, like, the work you put into it is the results you're going to get out of it and the consistency of it. So that's the only thing I've ever done where I've given that type of commitment to and that kind of thing. So,
and seen the results.
Like, and seen the results, and also, like, you see the growth, you see your chops get better, like, you know what I mean? You're navigating it on your own. There's no one in charge of it. There's no rules. There's no journey to, like, there's a journey, but, like, each person's different. There's no way of doing it.
There's no template. The right way. There's no template. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. No template and no right or wrong way. So it's very much like, yeah, well, I do this because this works for me when I do it. You know what I mean? I don't do one-liners because I can't fucking write them, and when I do them, they don't work, or I fucking hate it. Like, I just don't write that way, and it doesn't work out that way, and that's that. So you're going to have a different path than I will, even if we're both storyteller comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is cool. It's like you can kind of mold this whole, you're kind of like making a movie, honestly, every single time you go on stage, and you're presenting it, and you're like, this could either flop or land. Yep. And you kind of learn from it every single time.
The really cool part about it is, like, being in the pocket. Like, what excites me about it the most is when you're on stage and, like, I'm saying something to the audience, but my brain is thinking about something else most of the time. When you're crushing and you're actually, like, that's when you're in it the most, and you're not thinking about anything after, whatever. It's only when you start to tank, you're like, okay, this didn't work. This usually works right here, and it didn't work right here. Now I'm starting to lose them. The next joke that I'm going to say is very similar to this one, so I should probably move that later and put something else here. Wow. Do you know what I mean? So you're doing that in your head to guide the rest of the show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, that part is, let's call it exhilarating, because, like, it's fun and it's nerve-wracking at the same time. You know what I mean? So
I've always wondered this, and I hear a lot of comics say this. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I hear a lot of comics say, and you just said it there, when the audience doesn't like it or when it starts to turn, how the fuck do you know when it starts to turn? Because, like, to me, I don't know the difference when I go to watch a lot of stand up when I travel, especially every time I go to LA. I always try to go to New York Comedy Cellar, and I'm like, I don't, the guy starts talking about bombing on stage. He's like, oh, this isn't going so well, and I'm like, look, I didn't really feel that. How do you know?
Oh, dude, like when you're watching someone and it really is bad.
Yeah, like really bad,
and they can't tell.
Yeah,
the comic
Yeah.
thinks he's crushing or isn't changing the way he's acting at all.
Yeah.
And all of you are like getting real uncomfortable. That's that moment when you can feel and you start looking at other people and they know and you know, that sort of, let's call it, brutal word here, but that energy in the room and like you guys all feeling a certain way. We can all feel that in any room we go to with any scenario.
Yeah.
So 90% of the time, like a lot of comics try to just blow through it, not address it, because addressing it is like when I address it, it has to be going very badly. And when it is, I'm like, I have to address this. Like I've tried everything at this point and now it's so bad.
It's like the elephant in the room.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to address it, or at least you're trained to. But we are our worst critics, so there is a problem with addressing it because sometimes, a lot of the times anyways, they don't know how it's supposed to go. So yeah, sure, maybe at this line, because you've done this joke 1,000 times, you know that it's going to get a big pop here. So if it doesn't get a huge pop that you're used to, but it gets like a laugh that's just not as big, and you go, well, this isn't going well. It doesn't mean that it's not going well. You're just used to it murdering,
Right.
and it's not in this moment, But a lot of times they still are paying attention and like are still, locked in,
Yeah, that's wicked. What's your creative process like writing? How do you write? How do you get inspired?
Fuck, it's brutal.
I bet you it changes too over time.
Well, yeah, like it's never the same per joke, for a lot of the times, like, for example, I have a joke that I have about dinosaurs, about my wife not believing in dinosaurs, which is a true story. And the way I wrote that was we got into an argument live in person, right? All arguments are live in person, Mark. Fuck. We got into an argument.
I thought you were on stage for a second with her. Yeah.
No, we got into an argument, and then I had a show the next day, and I just said the argument back and forth. Like what we actually said, I said it on stage.
Wow.
And it crushed. And I was like, okay. So then I never wrote it. I just kept, every time I went on stage, I was like, let me tell that story about me and my wife arguing about dinosaurs. And then it started to hone itself as you work it on stage.
Right.
And then after, you start to remember the parts that work and don't work, and then it starts to shape itself into a joke or into a full story bit where it's like, then from there, you draft that out and be like, okay, these are the main points that work. And then you try and build it and like punch it up or try to find alternatives for certain parts or whatever.
That's really cool. I've never heard that.
The other side is like, I have a joke about food basics where like the whole thing was, I wrote the whole thing out and then went to go and perform it. And then you go back and you just keep editing it as you go. 90% of the time, my stuff is based on something that has happened. I go on stage, I tell it, and then I tweak it as it goes. You find new tags on stage. You write new tags for it. This part is funny, but this line didn't work, so I got to change this part. And then you change it to something that works. So a lot of family come and see me, and they go, oh, well, fuck, I remember when Nona did that, but this part never happened. It's like, well, the real part doesn't fucking work. So, you know what I mean? Like, you have to, some parts you have to add some salt and pepper, you add some seasoning and stuff. So, but like it all comes from like a premise that has happened at some point,
So we talked about bombing a little bit.
Tony Monaco, DJ Danny D live. Luxy nightclub.
I'm going to clip that.
Do it.
Didn't Joe Rogan get his podcast thing from some UFC fighter, like yelling it on stage? I learned that the other day. Some UFC fighter in an interview said, Joe Rogan, podcast, or whatever he says.
Oh, did he really?
And he clipped it from that interview after the fight. I know. I didn't even know that either.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, this is a sensitive topic, but have you ever bombed before? No, I'm kidding. So
not sensitive at all.
Yeah. So bombing is a part of the process, much like relapsing I just made that up right now. But how on earth does one recover from bombing? Either in the moment, does it stay in your head for a while after? How do you get over it?
I mean, I feel like you get a little better with it over time. Like the bombs stick out less and less. Now it's almost like jokes bomb themselves rather than whole performances. at this point
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
game for me anyways. I mean, that's not true. I've had sets this year where it's like from start to finish, it's like complete silence. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on here.
Wow.
And these are people who paid to see me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like on my tour, I had one show, dude, was like silence the entire hour and a half, opener and me. And I was like, but then the meet and greet line is 100 people deep. They're all taking photos. They're all like, this was incredible. I'm like, were we in the same room?
Yeah. Like, was there a sound barrier?
Yeah, dude. And I watched the footage and I was like, no, there's no laughs, like at all. I don't know what, I honestly have no idea what happened, but yeah, man, it's like you sweat more, you hate it, you hate yourself, you hate your bits, you blame your own preparation, you know, because there is a such thing as over preparing and stuff, but like, what is that? How does that, like, you don't know until it's all over and you go, oh, fuck, I was too worried about memorizing this part because, you know, like sometimes, for example, in a set list, I have this whole part about going to Italy and like the different things that I'm grateful for in Canada. When I go to Italy, I'm not really Italian. When I'm here, I feel like I'm the most Italian.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's good.
yeah. But I finally found like a structure for it that worked. So I really wanted to remember the structure because it worked so smoothly,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
transitioned into my other stuff. So I was like so focused on remembering that. But then when I went out there, I wasn't really in the moment and connecting with the audience for the first minute or two that like I was focused on hitting those points that I was just like a fucking, you know, you're not in the bit. You're just like, what do you call it? Like in robot mode. You're just saying
reciting
words.
the joke.
Yeah, you're just reciting the bit, which never works. And then you're like, well, fuck, man, you can't. That's over rehearsing. That's being over stressed out and fucking, you know, worried about bullshit. I'm not finding the words in my brain for the things I'm trying to describe on this entire podcast.
It's hot in here.
And it's very fucking hot here. That's how I bomb. When I bomb, dude, you want to see me sweat, bro? Ooh,
Yeah.
come watch me bomb, dude. That's fucking my low back. Just
I'll be the guy standing up and cheering.
no,
when
you
bomb.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
You'd be sweating too. You'd be like, this is a mess.
Yeah. Well, there's such a thing as secondhand embarrassment, right? And like people, you know, I was always told whenever I gave a public speech in certain areas, people are like, no one wants you to do bad. And
Nobody
it's
wants
kind
you
of true in comedy
Yes.
too, right?
Dude, nothing. I can't watch comedy. Like I never watch the people before me because if I watch someone who's eating it,
Yeah.
it fucks me up. Like
Yeah.
I get out of my headspace. Like, and I know a lot of times you should watch, you know, because if someone's going to do crowd work, you want to make sure that you either,
Don't do that.
you know, there's a birthday in a room, you know that this guy's celebrating. So you don't want to be like, hey buddy, what are you celebrating? And the whole room
We
already
just
knows.
told you. Yeah.
Exactly,
yeah,
right?
that's a
There's
good
that
point.
type of thing. But when someone starts to bomb, dude, I get the fuck out of that room immediately. I'm like, I can't be a part of this. This is brutal.
Because you're just there's
You
so
like
much
you
going
soak
on.
in the energy a little bit, you know, and it fucking, I don't know. But, you know, that's why I try and do like breath work before shows to get like out of my head and shit too, you know?
Yeah.
Some Wim Hof.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's becoming a lot more prevalent now, and mainstream is this kind of meditation, breath work.
Yeah.
I try to do it every morning. It wavers. But yeah, before you do any public speaking, it's funny you bring up Second City because I did a public speaking course there, and I really enjoyed it. I had a good time, and a lot of what she was talking about, it was a good experience. I feel like my public speaking has gotten a little bit better, but I don't know. Have you ever gone up, because this has happened to me before. I've had to lead some, you know, in recovery, we have to share our story once in a while. And I've been up like, you know, probably, I could say probably 3 or 4 times in front of, like, I've been up a lot, but I've been up 3 or 4 times in the 7 or 8 years in front of like 200 people. And for me, that was a lot. You know, you have a podium, you have a microphone, everyone's looking at you. No one wants you to do bad. But there was one
Get rid of
time.
that fucking podium, dude.
Yeah. Well, you don't like,
can't fucking.
well, because but you guys like to move back and forth, right? Like
we
so
don't
that's-
like to necessarily.
like but you have to engage everybody.
Yeah, but like you don't like just the podium is blocking 90% of your body.
Yeah, and we communicate what 90%.
Yeah.
Of like through.
Like next time, just pull the mic out and walk around. No, I'm serious.
That would literally engage everybody.
Oh, 100%.
Right
If
away.
you went up there and been like, fuck this podium shit, and pulled the mic out and just walked in front and just stood in front of it and stood at the front of the tip of the stage, automatically, dude, you'll do 20 times better just from that.
Yeah.
I know you've got the notes and stuff like that.
No, there's no notes. You just
Oh, fuck, dude. Then get rid of that thing.
because you're telling your story, so it's like I'm the only one that knows it, so
Yeah.
I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
But
You just have to be careful when you're talking, when you're holding the mic, you're not doing this.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, so then I was talking, you know what I mean?
Because
pull it away from
and then no one can, and everyone here. The rest,
exactly.
Yeah. So you talk about bombing. Is there, what's the weirdest place you've ever done a gig at?
There's quite a few. Weird how?
I don't know, just like strange. I mean, the one where you just literally told me about the people not laughing, like that's like a Twilight Zone moment for sure.
I've done some at like sex clubs where people are getting like their dick sucked in the front row.
Really?
You ever just bomb and buddy's getting his dick sucked?
No, I can't say I have.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Is anyone paying attention?
Everyone's paying attention. And everyone's naked. And everyone's got a boner, dude. I was performing, dude. This is the crazy, because it's like, I feel this way about sex in general. Not like everybody. If you see two people fucking right there, we're both looking. Everyone is like, I can't. You see animals fuck, you're like, oh my God.
You can't look away.
You can't look away.
Yeah.
So when you're performing and there's like, 200 people in there, they're all naked, or some are in robes and they're like feeling each other, and this is like the preamble to their night. It's like you can't not see what's going on and not look. So this one guy sitting in the front row waiting for his date, cock ring on, dude, full fledger, like just like a rock,
ready
dude.
to go,
like just sitting there like this.
Was he making
front row, just like watching my stand up, cock ring on, looking at me like into the bits, and I'm like, I can't stop looking at his solid dong, and I'm like looking around, I'm like, okay, brother, like I can't do this. Like you have to, like this is, you're like either start jerking off, which is really weird, but it's par for the course.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
at least you're doing something.
Do something with this,
Yeah.
or take a walk.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And he's just like, oh, I'm just waiting for my +1. I'm like, they're not coming. Like, I don't. It's like we're an hour into the show here. Like they're not here, or like, can you just not be solid?
Yeah, call the doctor. It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Like you have had a boner that's full tilt for this long. It's unbelievable. It's very weird. Like, and that was like, I addressed it. I said all this to him. He started laughing, and then he got up. He's like, would you feel better if I like got up and left? I'm like, I want you to enjoy the show, but like, like do whatever you want. But I just want you to know that this is fucking me up. And like, then I go to the bar, dude, and he comes to me.
Oh no.
And still full tilt boner, butt naked.
Huh.
And he's like, man, that was really funny. Sorry if I like interrupted you. He orders a drink. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. Orders a drink, dude. As he turns to walk away, his dick just hits my leg. I'm like, I'm done, dude. Get me the fuck out of here, man. His boner just fucking gets caught on my leg. Like,
how does that gig come about?
Dude, there's because all these sex clubs have they have like themed nights, and they have like big entertainment rooms where like strip dancing, burlesque, whatever, right? Like, but yeah, it gets then at a certain time, like after the show, like 11 p.m., you either have to get in a robe and get naked to stay in there, or you got to go. So I always go, obviously, because but like it was funny. I forgot my bag in one time, so I went back. I forgot, like I had like a little fucking side satchel bag or whatever, crossbody, fanny pack, and I left it side stage. And like now the stage at this point was like an apparatus where you strap people to it and whip them and shit.
There was a different kind of show going on after you.
Yeah, there was like a, feel free to use the stage and whip your pal. And that's what it was, dude. Like I come back to get my bag, and like picture just like your standard, like anybody in your brain, like they look like a bunch of school teachers just like getting whipped and doing everything you can think of. And I just could not believe what people were doing in there. It was blowing me away.
Wow.
People are into some crazy stuff.
Wow.
And they were like, you're just not tapped into your sexual side. I'm like, yeah, for sure, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't want to get pegged tonight.
Yeah.
That wasn't in my bingo card for today. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, come on.
And I don't think my wife and child would appreciate it.
Yeah,
either.
I don't think my wife wants me here at all, to be honest. If I wasn't getting paid, I would not be here. You know what I mean? So it's crazy, the gigs that you end up doing.
Oh, man. I mean, so mental health is a big part of stand-up, obviously.
Yeah, so I hear, man.
Yeah. There's there's a stigma in comedy. You've seen, we were talking about it before the show, you've seen a couple people who are now in recovery, which is good, that kind of were going through it in the throes of addiction and alcoholism. and you it's kind of a thing, right? Like you hear
huge thing,
a
yeah.
lot of people going through it, but how does like mental health, how do you deal with your mental health around comedy, traveling, you know, being on the road a lot, being away from your family? What's that like?
I sort of, dude, the short answer is I eat. I swear to God. Like, I not to make a joke about it, but like everybody deals with so many things, and everyone had like, and certain things affect people differently. What fucks me up more than anything is being on the road for long periods of time. Like, you know, you find your threshold. Like sometimes you book a bunch of stuff and you're like, oh, this is great. I've got like 2 months ready to go. And then you're like at like a month in, you're like, buddy, I can't do this. Like I got to go back. Like you're just like, you've been on 22 different beds. You've been in 10 different hotels. Like, you know what I mean? Like it wear and tear on your body alone. The flying a bunch, you can get sick way easier. And like the last tour I did, I got bronchitis. I got walking pneumonia. I got strep throat. I fucking had a fever. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, this is in a 2-month span because you're sleeping like shit. You're on to the next, and you think you can do it. I noticed earlier on anyways that my threshold was about like 3 weeks. I was like, okay, after 3 weeks, I'm like almost sick of it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
You're like, okay, mentally and physically, I'm drained and I need a reset. I got to go back home. I got to eat my own food that I make. And you know what I mean? Cause like you're eating late after a show,
Yeah.
you sleep in, maybe you go to the gym, you're on a plane, you go to the next spot, you're eating on the road, you're eating in a car. Like, especially in Canada, dude, it's like, it's really long drives where you'll wake up in Edmonton, you'll do a show, wake up the next morning and you're driving 8 hours to fucking wherever. You do the show that night, you sleep, the next day you're driving 4 hours somewhere else. Like when you do that for even a week, you're like, okay, you know, fuck, we got to slot a gig in here where we're here for 3 days or something,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? To really break it up. And the wear and tear can get a lot, which keeps you busy, but it also, you lose a little bit of like, I don't want to say reality because you're not really in touch with what's going on in your personal life, in like mainstream life. You're just like, I'm going to this town to entertain these people with the stuff that I think works. You're working on some bits, you're crafting an hour, whatever. But having a kid is like way worse, dude. You're like, you go home. Like I was in Montreal for the weekend, dude. What was it, gone 4 days?
Yeah.
I come home, I'm like, my daughter is taller. She looks like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you just feel like you missed out on like a growth period, right? And like, because you're so busy and you're moving a lot, the kid's schedule is so much different, which is terrible when you come home, you know, but let me try and gather my thoughts here on like what I'm trying to say. But like, you know, you come home, you feel like you miss stuff. The schedule is different. When you're away, you try to FaceTime call and be a part of it. But, you know, they have nap times, they have bedtimes, they wake up at a certain time, which is completely the opposite of your clock when you're on the road. Yeah. So, like, you know, 8 o'clock, my daughter's going to bed. That's prime time, showtime. Okay, so I'm missing good nights. Okay, let me try and get good mornings. I've been up till 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm up at 10, 11 a.m. You know what I mean? I wake up, I have like half an hour, she's going in for a nap. It's like, you know, and then when you get home, the kids, like, for example, I got home at like 1 o'clock in the morning last night. Kid was up at 6:30. So like, you're not getting the sleep. And then when you are with her in the morning, like, it's incredible. She's so happy to see me. She's thrilled, whatever. You know, my wife's like, every morning she runs to like your side of the bed and thinks you're there, which is like soul crushing.
Yeah,
on the road.
Jesus.
Yeah, you're like, that's fucking awful. So like, all you want to do is be there. So like, I'm trying to do things in my life now to just manage my time better and buy my time back so I can do whatever the fuck I want. So I'm trying to outsource everything I can. I'm trying to have editors, videographers. Like, I just want to show up and do what I do. Everything else, everybody else can fucking deal with it because I don't want to deal with anybody but my child, and that's that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, tell me where I got to be at what time, deposit the money in my account. If I have to take half my money and give it to other people so that I can do fuck all in my backyard with my kid when she's home and available to do it, perfect, no problem. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind losing a chunk of my money to other people if it's going to make this journey or my career run smoother, you know? Give it up to Diddy. That's the one thing he said that made sense. He was like, outsource, man, as soon as you can, which he was like, because then you can have more oil parties, right? Like, that was this whole thing. But like, so many, I think Jay-Z said that too. It was just like, the sooner that you can get people to take on the hats that you're wearing that can just do it better than you. Like, I'm at the point, dude, where like everyone you're dealing with does this pretty well, like does other things really well. So like, why am I going to try and learn how to use lenses and cameras and spend 2 weeks with a camera trying to figure it the fuck out? Let me pay this kid who literally sleeps next to his lenses and would like bury me in any conversation with this stuff. Like, why am I bothering? Pay him his fee, have him show up. It's going to look 20 times better. It's going to run way smoother. We're going to have no headaches. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've learned the hard way many times by hiring people who don't know what the fuck they're doing. So, you know.
Yeah.
That was a very long-winded answer.
No, it's a good point. I mean,
and I don't know if I dealt with how I deal with the mental health, but you don't, man. You sorry, I got to get the sweat
Oh
out.
my God.
Yeah, dude, look at this,
Look
this
how
water
hot
bottle.
it is in there.
This is the water bottle, just dripping sweat. I'm wearing fucking, my thighs are out. Anyways.
I love it.
Sorry, I don't like, dude, you binge eat. That's my biggest problem in life. I binge eat and I do everything in excess. So I'm not a big drinker. I've tried to cut alcohol almost entirely because like if me and you were sitting here having beers, I'd be like 6 beers deep.
Yeah.
Because I drink it to finish it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Same.
I eat to finish it. I don't do blow on certain drugs because if I do, we're doing it until it's done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That was me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like you just, that's the culture we come from is like, you must finish this plate of food because the war happened and it might happen again. And if you don't eat these potatoes, you might never see a potato again. That's my no-no, you know?
Yeah. Or the kids across the world don't get it. So, you know, you should be grateful that you have it. Right.
Yeah. So that's where, you know, after shows, dude, it's fucked. Like I eat enough for a lot of people. Yeah. So, you know.
What's your go-to?
I love diners, dude. They're the fucking best.
Like greasy spoons.
Greasy spoon diners, dude, where a lady's triceps are taking your order. Like this, the swinging fucking triceps. Yeah.
Bertha.
Yeah. Fucking Betty Lou Ann Sue. Like, she's got a shorter haircut than me and shit. Like, I love that. Her triceps swinging. Her hands feel like fucking Basel. Like, you know, this is the shit I like. Because you can get anything you want, bro. Like, I love fucking breakfast at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm basically just having construction plate.
I love I fuck with the construction plate all the time.
Yeah. Give me the lumberjack. Whatever you guys call it here. You know what I mean? Like,
do you have any places that you love to play? Like, where the fans just kind of, you know, feel more receptive to your jokes or...
Yeah. I mean, I love Alberta. Alberta's great. Like, in Canada. Yeah. Alberta seems to be awesome. I mean, I've been going there for a long time, so that helps. But, like, the audiences are just fucking, they're loving it, man. They're like, they're there to fucking laugh and they get it. They are a very conservative province.
Yeah, it's pretty blue over there. Yeah.
It's very blue. But where if you take a place like Ottawa, that's very red, liberal, let's say.
Yeah.
I can tailor my bits to really... Anyone can be more racist, you know what I mean? Or like more stereotypically this or that, or push these buttons or play more conservative. We can all do that. It's harder to play more left, I'd say, which is, let's call it cleaner. But I've been doing corporate clean comedy for fucking since I started. So, but you just find that the audience member is more nervous to laugh at stuff because of how they will be perceived if they will get in trouble. Oh, they're there with their government staff party and they're always like they always feel like they have to hide their laughs, which is the complete opposite of what a liberal is, which makes me like my brain baffle. But in Alberta, they're just like, yeah, sure, they want you to go this way. But regardless, they're just open for like, yeah, man, let's fucking do it tonight. You know what I mean? Yeah. Regardless of what you say. So if you drop a little bit of this or that, they love it. They eat it up. Now, I try not to do that. I do my shit the same everywhere. But, you know, you play to your audience and fuck. Alberta's just ready to go, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like that, you know, they just want to have a good time, right?
Yep.
They know what they came for. Yeah. Because when I go to a comedy show, I want to laugh, right? I like dark jokes, right? And
some people don't want to laugh.
Why?
They come to comedy clubs. I know this sounds insane, but like you can feel it where they come in nervous. They're like, oh, I hope they don't make fun of me. Oh, I hope they don't say this. Oh, I really hope that doesn't. Like you see people being like nervous.
On guard.
Their guards up. That's the whole first half of the show is to be like, Fucking relax, man. It's like even people who sit front row, like, oh fuck, I hope he doesn't. It's like, dude, what am I gonna say that's gonna really shatter your day here? Hey, you're a loser. Hey, you're a fat bald fuck. Like, what am I gonna say? And if I say that to you, you're gonna be like, like you're just gonna cry and break down. Like, I don't get it why people get so nervous, but a lot of them don't like being around people or being the center of the attention or picked on. Like, it's triggering for some people to be like, hey man, you look like a fucking, hey, you know who you look like? This guy. Everyone can see you from behind you. You can't see anybody else. You feel picked on or whatever. So like, I get it, but like no one's there. Be the butt end of the joke for half a second, dude. Be part of the greater cause for just literally 10 seconds, because I am going to be for the next hour and a half. And you're paying to see it. So fuck, just relax, you know? Yeah. Easier said than done. I know things can be triggering for some people, but anyways, I talk a lot.
Do you do? It's okay.
Feel free to be like, okay, Mark.
But listen, enough. I have people in here so that we can hear them. I talk too much anyways on this podcast, so don't even worry.
No, I feel like you don't talk enough, and you should be like, Mark, okay, that's enough.
I need a guy to just like, hey,
have down. A guy right on the other side of the camera be like, okay, shut the fuck up, dude.
I feel like, so the thing with, do you do crowd work?
Yeah.
Because like
a lot, yeah.
I feel like it could go either way, right? But the thing I like about crowd work, at least from the clips that because I don't know, being a viewer of that, like, so that's a taped special. You know, live is different. Live, anything goes for me live. I like whatever. I'm there to see. It's your show. But I'm a little more picky with my stand-up that I watch recorded. You see a lot of things go in places that you don't necessarily think that they're going to go. Do you have any good stories about like that, working the crowd and, you know, how it ended up?
Oh, like it going somewhere and it like turns into a gem moment type thing?
Like it turns out.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
This was such a good moment like a month ago, and I have the clip. It's going to come out soon.
Oh, perfect.
Once I edit it, which might not be for another 5 years. Like fucking editors.
Yeah.
So this girl was in the front row. Beautiful, beautiful woman sitting front row. No one next to her. There's a theater show in Hamilton. No one sitting next to her. And a guy on her left, like on her right side. So I looked at them as if they were a couple.
Oh, no.
Right? And I was like, oh, you guys are together? She's like, no, I'm not with him. All right? And his wife was next to him. I was like, oh, sorry, whatever. Did some crowd work on these two, whatever. And I was like, is this seat next to you empty? Like, where are they? Like, where is this person? And they were like, oh, he's here. He's just going to get drinks. I was like, oh, nice. I was like, what does he do for a living? She's like, I have no idea. I'm like, do you know this person? And she's like, yeah. This is like our like third date. I'm like, oh, what's his name? I'm like, we should do something fun. Like when he comes in, we'll like boom at the same time or like cheer or say something, right? Or chant his name. I was like, what's his name? We'll chant his name. She's like, I have no idea. I was like, you don't know what he does. You don't know his name. And he's buying you drinks. He bought tickets to the show? Yes. Have you put out? No. What's been going on? I was like, these last 3 dates, he's paid for everything. I'm like, so this guy is wine and dining you for the last 2 months, taking you on like 3 or 4 dates. You don't know his name. She's like, no. As I say that, dude, this guy comes walking in.
Oh my God, perfect.
And I'm like, boo. Like we all start booing him, okay? I shouldn't have done that. I felt so bad, but he's into it. He's got his beers. He's like, fuck yeah, fuck you guys, whatever, right? Yeah. He sits down, and I'm like, hey, buddy, what's your name? And he's like, Steve. And I look at him like, you know, I give her a head nod. I'm like, what do you do for a living? Blah, blah, blah. I get all this information out, dude, about him. And she looks at me, she's like, thank you. And I look at the audience, I'm like, I'm doing the Lord's work out here, guys.
And he had no idea.
Yeah, no clue. I'm like saving relationships one day at a time. I'm like, this guy's a poor sap.
Was she embarrassed while you were doing that?
No, she was dying, dude. She was dying. Yeah. It was such a funny moment because like the whole audience was in on something. Like that's what I like about crowd work is like when you get good moments, man, they're the best moments of the show because they know it's organic, you know? But then there's parts where you have duds who fucking say nothing or try to like out joke you and you're like, just answer me, dude. Like, you know?
Yeah.
What do you do for a living? Your mom. Like, okay, oh, my mom. You fucked my mom. Oh, shit. Like,
you got me.
You got me, dude. And now what? Like, now this sucks and you're a loser.
Have you ever had a heckler?
Oh, yeah.
How do you deal with that? I find it interesting how everyone kind of deals with it, but
I just try to engage with them as little as possible.
Yeah.
Like, you talk to them, you try and shut it down a little bit. You know what I mean? Give them their 2 seconds of fame, you know, and then try and flip it and make it funny somehow. I don't try to go like roast for a roast because I'm not the best roast comic unless I'm angry. And when I get angry and I'm like going at you, it's hard for me to like revert back to like my usual self on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like it takes away from the rest of the show. And I hate when people come and we get side railed by this bullshit for like 10 minutes. But that being said, I've been like out roasted to death.
Oh,
dude.
really?
Oh, this one lady, dude, she was hammered in Kingston. Bro, she roasted me so bad where I started laughing, being like, you're on fire. Like, you're killing
Come
me.
up here. Yeah.
Yeah, like she was, and I was hosting the show. So like I got on stage and she was standing up, chirping how I was looking. And I was like, buddy, the show hasn't even fucking started yet, whatever. And the crowd is dying. Because like,
my God.
she said something about like I look like Patrick from SpongeBob, like something like this. And I started laughing. I start chirping her. They're laughing. I'm like, okay, I won. We're good. She does it again. I can't even remember. I have it recorded somewhere. But we go back and forth a few lines, and then she gives me like fucking 3 or 4 in a row.
Just darts.
Like every one of them crushed. The audience is like hyperventilating.
Yeah.
And I'm just standing there. I'm like, okay, you win. Like I lost. Like this is fucked. You are unbelievable. Like, you know? And I made them start the show over again. Like I was like, I'm going to get off stage. We're going to play music.
Wow.
Again. Like I'm getting on stage and I'm coming back on and we're starting the show again. Like I can't. I'll die like this. You know what I mean?
Maybe she was a comic. You
No,
never
dude.
know.
She was just like your standard. It was a construction company's, concrete construction company's Christmas party that was in the audience. And she was like, you know, the broad who smoked fucking 40 packs a day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, just like you're fucking, you know, she's like, I bet you have gout. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this type
How
of
do you come back with that?
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't. Yeah, sure. You got a sleep apnea machine in the hotel? Like, you're like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, and like, she just sounds hilarious. And like, she's the fucking ball buster in the office.
Oh, yeah.
Who deals with guys that look like me all day.
She's already got a one-up on you. Yeah, she's got
40 years of
credibility.
experience, yeah.
She's got credibility around the office.
Yeah, VIP ball buster, buddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. Where do you see your future going, Mark? Like, what do you want to do? What's next for you?
I don't know, Dad. Like, fuck. What's your 5-year plan?
I love you. You're gonna make money doing what?
Yeah, sorry. What's this? What's the whole thing here?
You're charging how much?
Yeah.
What's next for you?
I mean, my goal is to get out of this couch as soon as possible because I'm sweating.
I'm sorry about that.
No, I'm joking. I'm hoping the goal for stand-up, I'd love to, you know, be selling out theaters across North America. That'd be great. I only want to do one stadium, and that's fucking ours. You know what I mean? I'd love to do Air Canada Center. That's what I call it still.
Yeah. Scotiabank.
Yeah, I'd like to do Scotiabank one day.
Yeah, ACC. It's way better.
Yeah, even Rogers Center, like, you know, no comedian has done that. I know it's completely unnecessary and not ideal for comedy, but I'd like
Why,
to just...
the acoustics are all fucked up? Or what?
I guess. Yeah. Well, it's also like you're watching the screen the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, have you been to any comedy shows at the Scotiabank?
Yeah, Dane Cook a long time ago.
Yeah, like you watch the screen the whole time, or were you
Yeah,
close
no,
enough,
I watched the screen.
Yeah, like I saw Sebastian. I was in the lower bowl, but I was watching the screen the whole time. Like,
yeah, he's funny.
When you're that physical and your face, like you got to be pretty close. So I feel like theaters is as big as it can get without feeling too distant. And some theaters that are in like the, you know, 6,000-7,000 range, it still feels like when you're in the back on the balcony, like you're like, I can't believe they don't have a screen here. Like this is, you know, they're so small and so far away. You feel really detached. Like it sucks. I would hate to buy it, like someone buy a ticket to my show and feel that disconnected.
Yeah.
So, but I do feel like there's a good happy medium and there's some good venues out there to be at that nice, you know,
like
3,000.
Sony Center, Meridian.
Yeah. I mean, Meridian is fucking huge. Like,
is it?
Yeah. And I love Meridian Hall, but that's the show I'm talking about. Like I was in like, you know, row 30 on the balcony and I was like, I'm just like, I don't even, they're like miniature. There's no screens. I felt really out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think I saw Theo Vaughn there one time.
Yeah.
I think it was at that one, but
I mean, the price reflected it. Like I paid like $30. I was like, whatever.
yeah.
I don't even remember who the fuck I saw, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim Gaffigan.
Oh, nice.
But I love Jim Gaffigan, and my wife hates Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah. You either love him or you hate him.
My wife's like, this is the worst show I've ever seen. And like,
too dark or just
no, she was just like, I don't even know what the fuck this is. Like,
yeah.
She's just like, I don't like, it's not funny. I'm like, that's outrageous.
There's nothing worse than when you go to a comedy show with someone and you're the only one laughing and you're like, are we going to have to break up now? Like, I'm laughing at these
my
jokes.
wife's the worst. Like for her style of comedy, I'm like, I don't even know what you find funny at all. Like she's like, you're hilarious. I'm like, okay, but like,
that's not good.
That's good. Yeah. Right. But like, I've taken her to see like a lot of the greats and she's like, I don't know, dude. Like that was okay. You know, I get it. Some venues, like I said, you know, you see Chappelle at Scotiabank, you're like, you know, it's hard to get into it, you know. We went to see Kevin Hart. I was Scotiabank, fucking like last row,
just bleeding.
Yeah. I'm nose just drenched, and I'm like, this wasn't great. But you know,
it was all in the venue.
It's all in the venue,
and where you're sitting.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do some movies or some TV or something too, like you know, do some comedy, acting, and.
Yeah. Oh, you were in a Canadian Tire commercial. I meant to bring that up to you. Yeah, that was funny.
It was whatever, dude. Yeah. I did like 900 takes. They chose the worst one. So.
I liked it. It was just fucking.
Yeah, whatever. It was fun. We did a bunch of takes. A lot of great people on that shoot. That was fun. But, you know, commercials, I don't love them. I'm also the Planet Fitness Sasquatch. I don't know if you know that.
No. Yeah. Wow.
Have you seen those commercials?
Yeah, I'm going to watch those differently now with a different mindset.
Yeah. So.
That's my friend. Yeah.
Dude, I love the comedy acting stuff, you know, like all the sketches. That's what I get to do on social media, you know, cool. Except low budget. But yeah, like, you know, that's why I got into it. You know, I wanted to be fucking Chris Farley and Mike Myers and do 50 characters and shit. So that'd be fun to do something like that.
Yeah. I love your stuff, man.
I appreciate it.
I want to close with this, and I usually end my podcast with some.
I feel like I have not talked about mental health at all, like, and how I deal with it, which is like,
you complained a lot. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I do, dude. I rant, I complain. You know what's funny? My wife would say this. My wife would say, Mark deals with mental health by calling people during the day and saying the same story to 40 people.
That's good. That's helpful. That works, man.
Does it work?
Yeah. There's science there. Yeah.
I do find that it works, and you get different perspectives.
Yes.
It's kind of what I do with jokes. Like, I'll call like 4 different comics to run the same bit by them, but they're all very different. So I'm getting a wide range of, you know.
Yeah. I mean, in recovery, it's the same thing. So every time I relapsed, it was always because I had a great idea that I didn't bounce off anybody, right? And I always make this joke, but when I have good ideas, like, and when I mean good idea, I mean about specifically like, I'm feeling this way and I want to fix it and I know what's going to work, right? That alcohol, that Band-Aid, that quick solution. And then immediately, you might have heard this or might not have heard this. This is common across all of us. Immediately, it's like you just 100% forget about all the bad times. Like it just escapes your memory all of a sudden.
Right.
And you just remember that one fucking quick moment that you had where you're like, that was fun. Yeah, let's do it. That was fun. Luckily, I'm further away from that now, but it's because I talk to people and I call. So I always make the joke that whenever I have this idea of, and I'm like, nope, it's good. I'm going to do it. I'm going to start taking ADHD medication again. That was one for me. I'm going to get on steroids. That was another one for me. And it's just like, it's a seemingly small thing that kind of grows into this, you know, smoking meth again, right? Eventually, right? So
eventually, you're like, I'll get there.
It's coming. Yeah.
No,
it's coming.
Yeah.
So just quickly, the analogy that I like to give is like, it's like me performing to an audience of myself. And I'm just like, this is my idea. And everyone's like, yeah, do it, man. That's great. Right. Like, it's not a good way to live.
No, I hear you. I'm trying to think of the things that I actually do to cope with stuff. Blasting music at an uncomfortable level in my car is definitely one. I love long drives. Like, everyone's like, oh, I can't believe it. I'm like, I want to drive, and I would prefer if you weren't in the car. You know what I mean? Like, because all like when I'm people are like, oh, you want a hotel for the gig? I'm like, no, it's like a 4-hour drive back home at like midnight. I would love that.
Really?
Oh, fuck, dude. And I'm like, have the volume maxed out and just have music going. I'll bawl my eyes out sometimes. Like, you know, you go through your head quite a bit. That's great. Or something to really, like, going to the movies, like the movie theater, is one of my favorite things on the planet.
Me too.
Because you're not looking at your phone. You're fully submerged into this piece of art, if you will.
I couldn't agree with you more.
For that period of time, and it really pulls you out of it. It's like any live stuff. Like, I go see bands all the time. Like, anytime I go see something live where you got to be in it is the best, because it pulls you out of it. You have to pay attention. You get submerged into it. You go on this journey that they mean for you to go on, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I forgot.
2 hours not thinking about yourself.
Yep. Yeah. And you know what's funny? one of the best. I have to sit up because this is fucking
Yeah,
embarrassing.
I mean,
Fuck. By the end of it, my chin's eating my neck. But this conversation, one of the best messages I've ever gotten in my life. This guy sends me a message being like, "Hey man, don't mean to bother you, but it was like a fucking essay of a thing. Doesn't matter." He goes, "I was planning on killing myself today, and I was taking a shit this morning, have my whole day planned out of exactly how I was going to do it. I had letters pre-written and ready to go, but on the toilet, I got doom scrolling on your page and laughed at like a bunch of videos, and I totally forgot to go and kill myself." And I was like, "All right, that's sick." And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, I like, my plan was to get up and go to like Home Depot and buy stuff. You know what I mean? He's like, I was going to go and like execute this plan that I had. But when I got off the shitter, like I just started my day like a normal day. Like I laughed, I got up and then just like unconsciously made a coffee and then made breakfast and then went to the gym. Like, and like it hit me while I was at the gym that like I didn't kill myself today because I got sucked into your videos.
wow,
And I was like,
that's pretty powerful.
oh dude, it blew me away. I was like, okay, this is a message that like I put on my wall. And when my dad says you're a loser, I go,
Yeah,
have you stopped anybody? No, but like,
Have
know what I
you
mean?
prevented suicide today?
Yeah, you have never. So you probably encouraged it by a few people at your work, that think you suck. But no, but I've gotten quite a few messages like that. Not that detailed.
Yeah.
Quite a few people being like, "Hey, I've been in a dark place. Your videos help me out."
That's amazing.
Whatever, So that's half the reason why I do what I do. And those moments when things are in a dark place or whatever, you're like, okay, A, I'm grateful that I do what I like to do in the first place. B, it helps a lot of people. C, a lot of people feel inspired for some reason. And that sounds like the most egotistical thing I've ever said. But like, I stumbled in on a conversation at STL, actually, our old high school.
Yeah.
And like the teachers were using me as an example of like monetizing something that you're interested in and turning it into a career, and like things take time and whatever, just using me as an example of a road less traveled, if you will, as if I'm like some great success story. And I'm like, I live with my nonna, dude. Like, don't listen to these guys, whatever, And like, as much as I joked about it, I was blown away that like, a lot of these kids followed me, their families, follow me, and family and friends follow me. So like, I don't know. I was just blown away by that. And I was like, okay, when shit gets tough, it could be so much fucking worse. Like you open up your Instagram in the last 2 weeks, you're like, it's crazy how many people are dying and going through the craziest shit on the planet. So the fact that I'm at the Keg at midnight in Montreal and their kitchen is staying open for us because they're fans or they came to the show, what the fuck am I complaining about?
I have a good life.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you're like, life is great, so I can't complain. I have a podcast, buddy, I'm done to complain and rant all day long, which is my therapy.
Nice. Yeah.
I also have had a life coach and multiple therapists over the years, so you know what I mean?
There you go.
Talking to people and listening to music, drowning myself out.
Yeah. You answered that quickly. You answered that very well. So, yeah.
I hope so, my God.
I'm being honest when I say like, I don't laugh out loud a lot at Instagram videos, but whenever I watch yours, especially the no stuff, because it's so relatable. I think a lot of comedy is like, can the audience relate to what I'm saying? For
sure.
Do they? Yeah, me too. Like,
and dude, that's
me too.
That's hilarious. But that's all of it. Like, there's a stupid movie. I can't believe I'm going to reference this. There's a movie called August Rush. Have you seen that? No? Is it August Rush?
Gold?
I think it's called August Rush.
Should I watch it?
No.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's about a kid who's like a musical genius, whatever, and he makes music based off of the sounds. He has like a hyper hearing disability, but like he's he's sitting on the subway train and he's like listening to traffic and like noises, and like he notices that they go in patterns and rhythms and then creates music out of it. And his whole thing is like the music's all around us. Comedy's the exact same way. Where like I'll go through something and I'm like, I know, because this is literally everything. I know that 9,000 other people have gone through this exact thing. Like, it's all been talked about. And like I noticed that when I got married, and had a kid, specifically when I got married. When I got married, so many things fell into place with like other when I would watch comedy before I got married about guys talking about their wives, like all the premises are like the same 10 premises, really. And they're all taking their take on it. And you can listen to comics from like the 50s, dude. Like you can listen to Richard Pryor talk about marriage and kids. You're like, I'm going through this exact same thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's all relatable. Everyone has family. Everyone's got a grandfather, grandmother, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like the more, I don't know, people are like, oh, I struggle with finding content or what to do. I'm like, what did you do today?
Yeah.
Did you stub your toe getting out of bed? Good. 10 million people have done that. So
Start with that.
Start with that. Like it's all around you at all times.
Yeah.
You just have to find a way to display it.
In your perspective. I don't know if you've ever read Rick Rubin's book, Creative Way. He talks about that a lot. I love it. I'm reading it right now. I'm like halfway through. He talks about like we're all kind of this like
nothing's been done.
Just experiencing, and everything you've ever done has been done before.
Yeah, sorry, everything's been done and nothing's new.
And nothing's new, and it's just you're putting your perspective on it. What you're creating is not for the audience; it's for you, and you're just taking in the world and then regurgitating it. It's so true. Your content is all around you. You know, your inspiration is all around you. Right. So
I can't listen to him talk much. So
his audiobook. Yeah.
I listened to the audiobook. I didn't read the book because I'll never get through it. But like, I was listening to his audiobook. I hate when it's the guy. I know, like, before I used to love that.
Yeah, you hate when it's the guy reading his own book.
Yeah, because I'm like, this sounds so much more pretentious. Or they'll try to read it a reader. I'm like, no, man, you don't sound like that. You know, because I listen to him in interviews and I love it. I've watched every Rick Rubin interview ever. But then in his audiobook, I'm like, okay, dude, stop narrating Harry Potter here. Like, you're killing me. Like, you know, and like, you just end up putting me to bed, you know? So I try to, like, you know, when they do it, like, I think Jordan Peterson does that too.
Where he tries to read his own kind of in the way that he thinks it should be read.
Yeah, and I know that's the point, but like, have some, like, you know, some British guy who's just like, you know,
just
I was walking down the street and I noticed, like, whatever, you know. You have to shit? Oh, you don't have to shit.
I'm just saying, like, all together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm good. I don't give a shit. I'll do stuff to the camera myself. What else do I do about mental health? Talk to people on the phone. I doom scroll, man. Fuck. Scrolling is one of those things that really just gets you. You ever notice that where you're scrolling and all of a sudden it's like an hour and a half later? You ever drop the phone on your face? That's when I know I'm like, you're done, bed. You're going to bed. And your like elbow and like hands go numb completely. And you're like, wow, I've been doing this for 2 hours. But it's the same thing as going to the movies. Like, you just feel like, okay, let me find something to either learn or laugh at. Like, I don't go to bed until I've like laughed out loud. Because there's some nights, dude, you try to replicate it every night. Like, I'll be scrolling and I'll find something that makes me laugh harder than I've laughed in like a month. Then the next night you're like, okay, I got to find that again. Or you watch the same meme, dude. You ever watch the same meme over and over again? I watched this one meme, dude, where like this guy comes, his wife and him are taking the dog for a walk, and then he trips over the dog and falls into the fucking garden and like crashes the garden table over. It's one of the funniest things ever. And he's like, "Sham it!" You ever seen that?
No.
I'm talking to the camera about other ways.
Talking to the audience?
Talking to the audience about how I cope with things. I was saying doom scrolling is one of those things.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Because
like, hours will go by and you just have no idea.
But like I was saying, like I love it when you find a gem. Like I'll find something where I laugh at it harder than I've laughed all month.
Yeah.
So then that's like the next night I'm like, fuck, I hope I find a fucking gem, dude. You know?
You're like addicted to the next laugh, right? You're like, it has to be better.
That's my whole career, dude.
Yeah.
My career in a nutshell.
Wait, you mean you'd want to find a gem for yourself?
No, I want to find a gem to like laugh at.
Laugh harder.
Yeah. But my career in a nutshell is the next laugh.
Yeah. You should put,
it's a good comedy name.
Get like that on your shirt. No, yeah.
It's a good comedy album.
Yeah. There you go. You're welcome.
The last laugh, the next laugh.
Yeah. And when you're famous, you can all tribute to Recovering Out Loud podcast.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you know who you look like? You kind of look like a...
Fergie's boyfriend?
Who? Who's that?
Josh Duhamel.
No. Oh, I see.
I've been told that before, but also I think I'm better than I am. So
you look like if your brother was an alcoholic, it would be Strombo, George Strombolopoulos.
Oh yeah, like an older brother.
Yeah, like Strombo could easily be your older
Nice.
brother that used to just bully the shit out of you and like.
Well, he's doing well, so
he's doing really well, but he looks like he's been
strung
through
out. Yeah,
yeah.
He looks
Which is unfortunate because I don't think he ever was.
No,
sorry, George, if you're watching this. He follows me. We've chatted before. George, listen, I don't think that you look like that. All right, I'm just saying.
It's okay. He'll never see this. Don't worry.
He'll see it. I'm gonna make him. I'm gonna send this to him. Don't clip this out.
Well, I don't think. Thank you though. That's a compliment. He's a good-looking guy. Yeah.
Yeah, Strombo.
And if I could be half as popular, no, wrong word. If I could be half as successful as him, I'd be happy. I don't want to be popular. I don't like limelight. I don't, but a part of me does. Yeah.
It's such a weird balance because it's like it goes hand in hand. It's like, well, if you're popular, you'll get all the other things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That come with it that you probably want.
Yeah, it should be a bonus, right? It should be a result. You know? Do you get noticed in public?
It's ridiculous.
Really? Eh?
That was the worst, like the most egotistical answer ever. But like it's quite a bit.
You're being honest. So
It's quite a bit. I'm grateful, but also sometimes it's like you're at the kids' park waiting for me.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So
what do they want? Like a selfie or
which is fine. Like I love meeting everybody. I'm blown away that it even happens.
Yeah, I know. Like
it's insane.
That's
like
great.
I feel like I'm a nobody, and I don't think I'm anybody at all. But it's like, especially when I'm with people who've known me forever, and it happens, they're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I know, dude, it's ridiculous." Like,
wow.
I'll be at the mall with my kids, and like someone will see my kid and notice my kid.
Jesus.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh my god," and see my wife, and they're like, "Is your husband here?" Like, my wife has been getting noticed. She tells me, and I'm like, "What the fuck? You're not in anything." Like, you know,
this isn't what I wanted.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's fine, dude. Like, I love it. Again, it all goes back to that DM, dude. It's like, for them, dude, it's changing their day. They're excited to meet me just because I make videos. Like, incredible, dude. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah, that's great, man. If you could say something to a comic that's just starting out, or a creator, or somebody that is struggling right now with where they're going to go next with their career and what they're going to do, they want to do this full time, what would you say to that person?
In comedy specifically,
or any
or
creation?
In general?
But yeah, let's do comedy because I think that's pretty unique and.
Don't do it, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Turn around.
Stop.
Yeah.
No. Do it. Don't take it too seriously, because you have to have fun. You know what I mean? When people take it too seriously and they're too in the weeds of things, like they're like you get lost in the minutia of things.
Big word.
Is it? I don't even know how to spell it.
Yeah, neither do I.
Minutia.
I'd ask ChatGPT.
Dr. Minutia. Anyways. So you just I know just have fun and don't take it too seriously sounds like it sounds like a fucking Robin Williams book cover. But like do that, because if the audience is coming to see you and have fun, if you're not having fun, how are they supposed to have fun? If you take things too seriously, you won't progress. You know what I mean? Like you got to let the haters roll off your back. If you have a bad set, it's got to roll off your back. You have to do the next one. Like, you just can't, you're a comedian. Everything's a joke. That's the problem that we face with regular people, let's call it. Non-coms, that's what we call it.
Non-coms? That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard that.
Yeah, non-coms. The problem is we find the joke everywhere, and we're like, that's a muscle you work at all the time. It's like, let's find the funny everywhere. So like when I'm at a funeral and I'm laughing at something, or like I can't compose myself, or like I say a joke to my brother and he's fucking like vibrating next to me, laughing to tears, and people think he's crying, like it gets you in trouble. Yeah. But like, that's the point, right? Like we're always trying to find that. So if you're taking things too seriously, you're going to limit yourself. Yeah. So
nice. Where can we find you, Mark?
Everywhere and anywhere, baby, at Not Marc-Anthony on all platforms. Mark with a C, not with a K.
Yeah, don't fuck that up.
Don't fuck that up. But if you type it in with a K, it will still come up, which is great. Oh. So, yeah, marcanth.com.
Any shows coming up?
Nah, dude.
Not yet.
I got a big tour coming up in the fall. another big
coming
tour.
up.
I got a lot of things coming up, like,
good.
but nothing like set in stone that I can release at the moment.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
but yeah, I'm always posting about stuff. So if you want to see me live, I will be always promoting to see me.
Beautiful. Dude, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for coming down.
Appreciate you, man.
It's
This is
hot
great.
as fuck. Thank you. You're a good dude.
It's 38 degrees in the studio, guys. But it's actually shocking. Like it's crazy because I'm not sweating much here. But like I'm gonna get up, my back is gonna be just.
You're like a duck. It's all happening under the water. Everything looks good up top.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but you're fuck.
Yeah, that seems like an analogy at a mental health place.
How'd you know?
It has to be.
Yeah, everything's okay except I'm drinking like crazy and I can't stop smoking meth.
Meth, dude. Guys, listen. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the podcast. Recording out loud. What is it? What is it?
Recovering out loud.
Guys, like, comment, subscribe. Recovering out loud with Anthony and Marc-Anthony.
Thanks, buddy. Love you, man.
Boom.
Thanks for listening. Please help us grow the channel and like, share, and subscribe for more content. The discussions and stories shared on this podcast are for informational and motivational purposes only. This content is not a substitute for professional medical advice, addiction treatment, or therapy. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please consult a licensed physician, addiction specialist, or mental health professional. You are no longer alone.